Oh boy. Oh, I just did the most clutch play in possibly the entire history of Civilization V. Just kidding, that is entirely not true. But oh boy, was it a clutch ass play. Okay, let's see what happened here. So this is starting off from the very beginning of the game, turn 1, and let's go. Oh. So I start off on the continent. I'm the Shoshone right here. And you can see everybody else got off to a faster start than I did. See, like, uh, there, uh, there's already 3 cities for China. Uh, here, India has settled 2 cities, 3 cities up here for Rome. Over here is France. I actually never met France because, well, you'll probably see pretty soon, but Poland here completely dominates France and eventually gobbles up the rest of the country. But yeah, I started out, I was pretty darn slow, finally get my second city. I've been playing this game over the course of the week. Here, you can see things happening. I think it's around this time that I start getting really annoyed with Rome. Because Rome's just being a pain in the ass, being where he is. Very soon here, Rome is going to be declaring war on China and is going to take over this city right here. Oh, yep, okay, here's Poland just gobbling up France, instantly establishing themselves as the dominant member of their continent over here. Yep, up there it goes. Yep. And Rome razed both of these cities. Now, I was friends with China here, so I instantly just gobbled up Rome as a counter, as a punish, essentially. Now, at this point, China, unfortunately, never gets a new city. They only have their capital for the rest of their stay in the game. In the meantime, I'm here. I end up with just these cities here. At about this point is when I started noticing that India was really far ahead of me in terms of culture, tourism, and literally everything. So here I was, sitting in my corner of the world. At this point, I had absolutely no clue how I was going to win. So, I'm just going through the motions. India is completely dominating me culturally. The same with Poland and basically everybody else. This entire continent here all hated me because you saw me gobble up Rome. Yeah, well, that unfortunately happened immediately after I came into contact with these guys. So, yeah, this continent ended up hating me for a long-ass time. I was always on good terms with China. That was good. India here, he was on bad terms with me in this section of the game. Oh, this is when Poland starts gobbling up Siam. Oh, goodness. And Siam was gone. I believe this is about when India declared war on me. I just held my ground. I had some mountains right here, and that really just kept him from doing anything at all. And here's Poland. Poland now controls this entire continent, and here I am with me and my friend and my not really friend but also kind of friend right at the end, because after Poland started controlling this entire continent, Gandhi decided, you know, it might not be a good idea to be against the only two people left in the world. So India was friendly, but Gandhi was a good lad at the end of the game. Unfortunately, because Poland now controls all of this, he started being the first in every single category except science somehow. Like, somehow my 5 cities, Mosankani here, my capital especially, were able to keep up with this massive empire in terms of science. I don't know how it worked out, it just did. It was about this point I was like, okay, my only chance at victory in this game is going to be with a science victory. Only one problem with that. India was completely dominating me culturally, and in fact India was looking like they were going to win the game through a cultural victory. That was before Poland took over this entire continent and started being, well, really good culturally and tourism-wise. Unfortunately, with this, he also got a whole bunch of city-states with him. And I think there were like maybe 3 city-states that were allied with India. Unfortunately, China's run ended right around here. So then it was just me and India versus Poland. And Poland was allied with almost every single city-state here. And he was getting more and more influence every single turn, because he was producing the most culture, he was producing the most faith, and because of those, he was able to complete a whole bunch of city-state quests, which made it so that at the end he had a good, like, 400, on some city-states, he had like 500 influence with them, which was absolutely insane. And because of that, he was really close to gaining a diplomatic victory. And this is where I performed the greatest hustle of my entire life. Because, you see, I had some spies. And my spies, they were absolutely ready to go into these city-states and rig some elections for me. And that's what I did. I went in and I made sure that the turn before Poland was able to declare himself the world leader because he had 40 delegates in the UN. The turn before that, or actually, no, in this case, I think it was like 2 or 3 turns before that, I put coups in a couple of cities. These cities were Melbourne and Florence. And so because of that, Poland only had 38 delegates, and he could not become the world leader. So there were 30 more turns. At that point, I had all 3 boosters that I needed, but I needed 34 more turns to be able to complete the science victory. And so I was like, I am going to need to pull the hardest clutch I've ever pulled out of my ass with my spies. And so I immediately sent my spies to the only places that I could still influence. Look at this. 500, 580, my god. There is absolutely no way I was ever going to catch up. But fortunately for me, there were 2 cities, Sidon and Leventa. And these 2, he only had just barely gotten to be his allies, though he was going to have them for his sessions to make him the world leader. And so I sent my boys Ondengarte and Paduini. I sent them into Sidon and Leventia, and I had them rig the elections and get my influence up. After that, there was a difference of only 60 influence between me and Poland being the ally. And because of that, I was like, okay, the only way that I am going to be able to get both Leventa and Sidon onto my side. Is Sidon or Sidon? I don't know, sorry if I have that wrong. But yeah, it's the only way I'm going to get Sidon and Leventa onto my side is if I get the most clutch coup in the entire game. And oh boy, I did. It was one turn, a single turn, before the World Congress came together and Poland would have voted himself into office. He had 42 delegates and he only needed 40. And so at this point, I stockpiled as much gold as I could. I ended up with 3,000 gold. And I instantly gave 2,000 gold to Sidon. And I gave 1,000 gold to Leventa. And went into my screen here and I was like, okay, I need this to work. Now, before I had given the gifts of gold, the coup attempts were only at 39% chance that they might work. But after the gifts, Sidon was up to 85%. I was like, dang, that's good, I can do this. I can get this coup easily. So, click the button, I get Sidon, and I'm like, hell yeah, here's the hard one. I go to Paduini in Leventa, I click on the coup, and it is a 60% chance that it works. Now that's above 50. It's 6 out of 10. That's decent odds. But every single other coup I had performed up to this point had 85% chances to work. And so my heart was beating. I was like, please work it out. Like, make it work, Paduini. And he did it. The mad lad did it. The coup worked. I became the ally. I was like, yes! And I went to the next turn. Poland only had 38 delegates, so he could not get the diplomatic victory. And I'm like, yes, 4 more turns. And I race it. I send my shuttle off into space, and I won. Off of the clutch plays of my spies in Leventa and Sidon. I owe my entire victory to Paduini and Ondengarte, because these two lads, pulled the clutch plays. Oh, I wish I had it on film. I wish I didn't have to go explaining it in this video after the fact. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. I have the biggest smile on my face right now. Oh, my cheeks hurt from how amazing a play it was. But I got the W. I got the victory royale. I got the clean sweep off the biggest clutch I've ever performed in this game. Thank you. Thank you, Pocatello. Thank you, Shoshone. You've served me well. May the rest of your future be bright.